guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Carly Cashman, otherwise known as the Teeny Tiny Realtor, and this is my series on what you need to know in 8 steps when you are a first-time home buyer or I haven't bought in a while buyer. So this is step 1. Step 1 is going to be acquiring the best lender to absolutely deliver and make this the best possible process for you. I know that sounds like a lot of pressure, and I want to say, besides finding the most beautiful house that's going to suit your needs, the lender is probably the most primary other decision that you need to make. They can absolutely make or break the transaction for you. And there's a lot of elements that go into that, but one of the main reasons why it's a make or break is that they are going to be running the numbers, not only that you're going to be paying for the next up to 30 years, but they're going to be running the numbers on what is necessary for closing. They're going to give you all options for loan types and all options for grants and things like that to save you thousands and thousands of dollars. But when I say that there can be some bad eggs, there are some bad eggs in the system, and that's unfortunate. But luckily, if you have a trusted realtor working with you, it's gonna make it a little bit easier because we've already gone through the horror stories to know who do we use and who do we not use. So when it comes to a lender, I think the first thing that people think of is going to their bank. Like, for example, I've banked with Bank of America for, goodness, 10 years at least, and I love them. They are fantastic for my finances, my credit cards, my savings, my checking account, but I would never get a home loan through them because these big banks, they don't specialize in home loans. So it's hard to trust them to specialize in something that's just a file in their cabinet. You want to go to a mortgage lender that's going to be a primary focus on the loan, as well as you want to find someone that's going to have a good rhythm, not only to communicate with you and explain things well, but to communicate with your realtor, because some people don't know this, but we're working alongside them the entire process. When I send an offer on a transaction for my clients, I clear that with the lender to make sure that do all the numbers line up, not only for the offer to be accepted and to be competitive, but are they going to be able to pay this? Are they going to have enough for closing cost? All of these things, because if those don't line up, that's not going to happen. They want to know what you're qualified for before you start searching, because at the end of the day, you may fall in love with a house, but you may not be qualified for it. And I think that is definitely the problem that happens more often than not. I think that unfortunately there is a stigma in the real estate world where people want to find the house that they love, then start the process for a loan, and that's just unfortunately not how it works. And I'm not really sure where that attitude came from, because at the end of the day, like, in the current market that we're in a seller's market, right? So basically for every one house, there's probably at this point 10 to 12 buyers. Sometimes in certain locations, that ratio is actually scarier. So with that being said, say Sally and I go see houses and she falls in love with a house that we see on Saturday. Now, with the type of market, with it being as competitive as it is, you want to be able to offer on Saturday. If you start the process of trying to get a loan, there's a lot of paperwork that goes into that. And if you can't acquire all the paperwork that's necessary in a few hours, you're not going to have an opportunity to offer on this house. And again, since it's nice and competitive right now, you'll miss out. And if you loved that house, now you don't even have an opportunity to make a chance on it. So generally, my rule of thumb is before I let people's emotions get involved and we start seeing houses, I make it kind of mandatory to go and make sure that we're approved, because one, you could be shooting for the stars and be what I call shopping blind, and looking at $250,000 houses, but you qualify for 220 and you'd never be able to obtain getting that when it's as competitive as it is. And then also there's people that undershoot and they're looking at houses that are they're looking at $180,000 houses, and they're getting disappointed because none of them are meeting the standards that they want. But little do they know, they actually qualify for $250. Not that they have to spend that much money, but they could if it fit their needs better and they're capable of that. it can go either way, but the stigma of people not checking how much money's in their wallet before they go shopping, I really hope that that comes to an end soon, because there's a lot of heartache that comes into that, and disappointment. And even if it isn't a seller's market, even in a buyer's market, you're going to want to be able to offer, and you're not going to want to wait until you're in a multiple offer situation, because then you're going to end up offering more than you were in the first place. So if it's avoidable, you definitely want to. And also, something else that is very favorable that not a lot of lenders do is you want to ensure that you get a verified approval rather than a pre-approval, because anyone can hand out pre-approvals like candy on Halloween. And a verified approval means that not only do they have all of your documentation, your pay stubs, your W-2s, all the stuff, all the works, they have that, and they've sent it to underwriting, and it's already approved. So when someone sends an offer with that, it's going to be more favorable than the pre-approval. And when you're in multiple offer situations, you want your offer to look as shiny and beautiful and full of glitter as possible to make it as favorable for that person to accept your offer over the other one. But at the end of the day, it's not two offers on a table right now. I had like 15, 18 competing offers. So with that being said, if there's only 2 or 3 that are verified approvals, they're gonna consider those far before the others. So it's not only gonna make your process simpler to have a good lender, it's not only gonna make the communication better for you to understand and better for your realtor to be able to tag team and make this happen for you, but it's also gonna have a weight to accepting offers when it comes to the process, because even with a fantastic verified approval and looking at houses with as many people that are looking right now and as low as inventory is, there's going to be a lot of heartbreak with disappointing situations where someone got to it first, or they picked another offer, or things like that that are out of control. So you want to be able to take as much control into the situation. And the best thing that you can do to start your real estate process and getting into finding your new home is setting up with a really good lender. And honestly, most of the time, your realtor will have someone that they prefer. I have someone that I use for 90% of my transactions, and I can call him 24/7. He makes dreams happen, and I couldn't do what I do without his magnificence. And your realtor is going to say the same thing about someone. Trust them. And I've had someone ask, do we get paid more from referring it to someone else? And the honest answer in the state of Florida, at least, is no. We don't get a spiff or a bonus for referring you to our preferred lenders. We're just assuring you that they're going to take the best care of you, which is so important to us. And we want to make sure that not only you're happy with the home, you're happy with your loan stuff, but it all closes, because it's not as easy as you think. There are so many steps in the process, and we just want to make sure that all of them line up. So step 1, get a good lender. So definitely tune in to the next video to see what step 2 is, and I will guide you in the process for step 2. That's basically going to be deciding what your wants and your needs are and how to evaluate those things, talking with your spouse, talking with your family, and how to communicate those to your realtor, and to know what to look for as you're doing the house buying process now that you're pre-approved or verified approved if you have a great lender. So I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in, and subscribe or hit the bell button so you can know when my next video comes out. I'll talk to y'all soon.